Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for all of your kind words and support week after week. It really, really means the world to me. I am competing in my first ever triathlon, which is an Ironman half triathlon on September 23rd. In Atlantic City, New Jersey. Just a point of clarification, somebody asked me if there was a difference between an Ironman and a triathlon. Ironman is just the like governing body, and triathlon is the sport itself. So it's swim, then bike, then run. That's like saying what's the difference between football and the NFL, right? So like Ironman is just the company that kind of regulates and oversees, and they have like competitions all over the world, and then they have some like championship series and things like that. So anyway, I'm competing in an Ironman half distance triathlon. Anyway, it was a really great week. I feel like I learned a lot. It was difficult at times. But it was a really good week. So first of all, on Monday, I had that sports massage I was so excited about, and it was kind of a bust. I mean, not a bust, but it was just like a nice, relaxing massage. It wasn't like really deep, and I was hoping it would be. So I did buy a Groupon for 3. So next time I go back, I will definitely tell the lady to get in there a little bit more, because I was definitely still a little sore afterwards. Like sore from before, not sore from the massage. Anyway, so on Tuesday, I was able to go to the group training ride with my coach, which I was really excited about because I think the previous 2 weeks, because of weather and work, I hadn't been able to go. And in fact, it was just me that week, so this week. So there was no one else, and it was really great because she chose a ride that was pretty flat. And on race day, the ride that I'm doing is definitely flat. It's 56 miles for race day. So that day we did a little over 15 miles, I think, and it was about an hour. So when I bike on stationary bikes, I'm in the neighborhood of like 15 to 18 miles per hour. So it's reassuring that I'm able to maintain that when I'm on the road. And it was really nice to do a flat road, because then I get a better sense for like how tired I get, if my legs get fatigued and things like that. And in fact, I felt great. She and I kind of like rode together. I was able to talk the whole time, so I wasn't like breathless or anything. And I did feel really, really good on that ride. And in fact, she's my coach, Jackie. She's like very encouraging, very motivating. She keeps telling me that I'm like naturally gifted and that I'm a true athlete. And, I think she's just trying to make me feel good, but it works. And then she said, "Hey, I'm riding in a race on Saturday. You should join me." And I was like, "No, thanks." And that was that. So Wednesday and Thursday, I did shorter runs, like I think I'm 5 to 7 miles now, and swims, and that was fine. I continue to be unenthusiastic about the running, but I'm able to do it, so whatever, I power through. And then on Thursday, she texted me, she's like, "Here's the information for the race, I hope you can make it on Saturday." And I was like, "Oh, what?" And I looked into it, and she talked me into doing it, basically. It was a 40-mile race, not too far from where I live, like a half an hour away. And so I signed up because I figured it would be really good experience to be able to have at least one bike race under my belt before triathlon day. So going into it, I was a little bit nervous because I looked at the map online in advance and it looked quite hilly. And so I asked her about it, and she was like, "Oh no, it's not any worse than any of the training rides we've done." But some of the training rides we've done have been quite hilly. Also, this is 40 miles, and I think in the training rides we've done, we've never done more than like 15 or so. So I was worried about that, but she was sure I could do it. And then later I noticed that in the forecast it was scheduled to like severe thunderstorms all day. And then later it ended up ending in the morning. Like the rain ended in the morning and they pushed the race back by an hour. So by the time we got there, it was no longer raining, but the roads were wet. But that was a new thing for me too. I had never really ridden on wet roads before. So that was a good learning experience. So, but going into it, she said, "This other lady that I also coach will be there as well." And I said, "Oh, that's great." And she said, "Yeah, she's actually nationally ranked. She's as a triathlete, she's got great times." And I said, "Oh, cool." And then she said, "Actually, internationally, she's one of the best for her age group." And I said, "Oh?" She said, "Yes, she just turned 70. And I said, "Wow, that's incredible." So this lady was also there with us, and I felt really bad because both my coach, Jackie, and this other lady, Mary, are very good, like very strong and also very experienced. And obviously they know that I'm new and I'm inexperienced, and they were very kind. But throughout the race, they were very much like waiting on me a lot. And that made me feel really bad. I felt like I spent the whole time apologizing basically. And I kept telling them like, you guys just go on ahead. I'll catch up. It's fine. Like it was relatively clearly indicated where we were supposed to go. Actually, we did make a wrong turn at some point. We ended up going like way up this hill and then back down to like find where we were supposed to go. But, they were very much waiting on me a lot, and that made me feel really bad. And on the one hand, it kind of made me glad that I don't regularly train with a group, because I don't like feeling like other people, like I'm letting other people down, or that I'm wasting their time, or that, that I'm holding them back in any way. I want other people to just go and don't wait on me, and I'll do my thing. And if I'm slow, that's okay. I'll just keep trudging, But anyway, so on race day, it was actually going really well. It was very hilly, and but I was powering through, and I was having a lot of fun, and the views were beautiful. It was a really lovely ride. And then literally at mile 37.3, I got a flat tire. So I called my husband to come get me because he was there. He was actually at the finish line with the camera out, waiting to like take a picture of me as I came through. And I never came through because I had a flat. So I called him and he came and got me. And that was the end of that. And I felt really disheartened. But it was definitely a good experience. I learned a few things. One, you can stop anytime. I hadn't really thought about this because when I go on my training rides with Jackie, we just go for an hour and come back. Like, we don't ever stop. But throughout this race, I very much saw people on the side of the road all the time, just stopping to like drink water, have a snack, take pictures, take a break, like everywhere. Granted, on Ironman Day, it's probably like much more elite athletes or whatever, but it's okay to stop. Just like when you're running, it's okay to walk for a bit. When you're biking, it's okay to stop for a bit. And just like seeing that really was good for me. Second, I attempted partially successfully to drink water while biking. I was on a flat road and I was like, I need to drink water right now. And so I was able to I had gotten a lot of confidence with my hands and stuff. And in fact, I kind of halfway texted my husband a couple times, like with the voice thing. And anyway, I reached for the water bottle and I was able to drink from it. And then I totally missed the little cage to put it back. And it just went flying. And so then I pulled over and stopped and had to walk and get the water bottle and come back. So anyway, I learned that and I figured out I can kind of do it. I will keep practicing that. I also learned that mentally, for my morale, it feels really good to pass people. And I know that sounds really mean, but I noticed this in the pool as well when I train my swims. And, I feel very confident in my swimming, so I don't notice these kind of mental things as much. But even when I swim and I pass people, even if they're old people who are just kind of leisurely swimming, on some level, it makes me feel good. And, very much more so when I was biking. We were powering up hills and passing people, and I was blown away. And I said that to Jackie at some point. She was like, "Oh, you're going to be passing a lot of people." And I don't really believe her, but it still makes me feel good. So, yeah, that was nice to know that I'm not literally the slowest person ever. I'm only middle of the pack. Another really good thing was that I have been very carefully monitoring my heart rate throughout my training. I think I mentioned earlier on to you guys that I've found some folks who do a lot of endurance athletics on keto, and one of the most important things, and I've also been reading this book that Ange sent me, one of the most important things is making sure you're in an anaerobic zone so that you can burn fat for fuel instead of glycogen and then running out glycogen. Yeah. So I've been focusing on keeping my heart rate hopefully in the neighborhood of 140 to 160-ish. And in this training ride, I was actually able to keep my average heart rate at 148, which was really super good considering all those hills and stuff. I mean, I did have times where it was higher and lower, but that average heart rate I'm really glad about because I wasn't monitoring monitoring it so closely while we were riding because I'd have to like look at my watch, but which is a difficult motion to do when you're biking. But, you know, on stationary bikes and stuff, and when I run, I have been very careful of like monitoring how I feel and how my heart rate is doing. So that was a big win for me. And last thing that I thought was a great success was that even though the ride, I rode for almost 4 hours, my bum was not sore. And at the very beginning, I felt, so like weeks ago when I first started doing the training rides with Jackie, I felt like the limiting factor was not that my legs were getting sore or anything, but my bum, my bottom would hurt. And so I've read about and seen videos about how to address this. Partially, your body just kind of adjusts naturally over time if you just keep riding. But secondly, it's also good to kind of slide your hips back and lift yourself in the saddle, and just the way I'm like positioning my body, I'm able to reduce pressure on my bottom. And I was so happy that after this like almost 4 hours of biking, my bum did not hurt. So that was really good. The bad is that I got the flat tire and I did not carry a spare nor know how to fix one. My local bike shop does have workshops every Saturday that are free. You can just go and they'll teach you. And I knew that, and previously I had thought about going to one, but then I had thought that, oh well, if that happens on Ironman Day, it'll just be a sign that the race is over, haha. No, on Saturday I was devastated that I had to end this race 3 miles from the end. And I think on Ironman Day, I will be even more devastated if I have to end my race just because of a flat tire, or, you know, something that I could have prevented or fixed. So I will, tomorrow's my rest day, but I'm going to be taking my bike to get a new tire. And next Saturday, I will definitely be attending the workshop to learn how to fix it. I also, last thing I kind of learned that was good or bad or whatever, but like after a hill, and I realize I'm like fatigued, like when it's flat, I need to speed up. And I have noticed that when it's flat and I'm tired, I go slow. And that's where I kind of lose people, especially when it's like a downhill, because I just kind of like coast and it feels good. But a lot of people like speed into the downhills. And because this ride was so hilly, there was a lot of downhills because there was a lot of uphills. But I gained a lot of confidence in terms of speed. You guys remember a few weeks ago I was talking about how I was like braking hard into downhills. Well, now I wasn't braking as much. I was like accepting the speed and kind of like enjoying it very much because there were so many. I could just kind of feel like I was flying, and that was great. But I realized that that's where I lose people, because I take that time to kind of rest a little, and everybody else accelerates into the downhills. And so like while we're kind of all together on the uphill, then they just like fly way past me on the downhill, and I just kind of carry on. So that's something I will continue to work on, is feeling even less timid on the downhills. But I feel like I gained a lot of confidence with the speed yesterday. So all in all, it was a good experience. I did record a couple videos that I will share with you. Hey guys, so I am here for my first ever bike race. This is a 40-mile race. Well, it's a tour, not a race, but I'm really nervous. It was raining all night. The rain has finally cleared, which is good. They postponed the start by an hour to avoid the rain, but the roads are still really wet, and I don't know where to go, and I'm nervous, but it's going to be fun.
And then the ambulance has to come and rappel up and get them, and then they get like a big $10,000 fine that they're never able to pay.
Yeah, they should.
So that was fun. It was definitely hillier than I expected. My pace was pretty slow. The ride was really beautiful, but like 37.5 miles in, I got a flat tire, and I certainly don't have a spare, and I don't know how to change one, so I called my husband to come get me, and kind of felt like a failure for not finishing. But I was pretty close to the end, and it was fun, and I could have kept going. But I was a little disappointed with my pace as well. My coach was with me, and another lady that she also trains, and they were very kind. They were like waiting for me a lot, and that made me feel really bad. But they were very encouraging, and they said I was doing great, and it was fun. It was definitely a good experience, but could have been better, I guess. So yeah, it was a really great day. And then today, and that fit right in with my training schedule. In fact, I was supposed to do 50 miles as part of my training schedule, and Jackie had told me that after the race she would do an extra 10 miles with me, like the 40 of the race and then an extra 10, but because I got the flat, I just came home. So I didn't do the full 50, but whatever, I think it was still good experience. Today I had a 12-mile run scheduled and a 2,000-meter swim. So both of those were like the longest distance I had done in ever as part of this training, and that went well. The swim was great. My times are still consistent, which I'm really, really glad about. The run, I was fatigued. Like, it was slow, and I got it done, and I'm not really sore, like, physically, but just like, I don't know, like, I was just over it. The run just felt very long to me today. So, I got it done. I'm not really planning to ever not do the training plan because I recognize that I would just be doing myself a disservice. So I'm glad that tomorrow's a rest day. I'm going to take the bike to get a new tire. I'm going to relax, and I have a training ride on Tuesday with Jackie, so I hope she's not like, oh, why are you here? I mean, I know she's not. She's like so motivating, so encouraging. I saw her after the race. In fact, we had, they were serving tacos, and I got this, what was it, like beef rib tacos that were with like guacamole and cheese and like cabbage, and I just like ate the meat out of it. Like I left the tortillas or whatever. And I talked to her afterwards, and I was like, I'm so sorry. She was like, no, you did great. It's okay. And I was like, I'm sorry you kept having to wait for me. She's like, I enjoyed the view. It was beautiful to like take in the scenery. Like, she's just so positive. So I will see her again on Tuesday, and I'm still a little like tail between my legs, but it happens, and I learned a lot, and I'm glad that I went. So anyway, that was my week. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will talk with you soon.